So you getting all packed up and ready to come out to Kansas City?
Yeah, I got time this airs. I'll be on the road in about 48 hours.
Nice. You need to come see
So
me.
I mean, I might. Is it on the way to
Yeah,
starting?
she's like half an hour from Travis's.
Oh, well,
I'm only
yeah.
35 minutes from the north of the airport in Kansas
Yeah,
City.
Oh, well, then yeah, I probably have to pop in.
yeah, because we'll
Yeah.
all be at just up by the
It might
airport.
be Saturday because I don't want to be driving 1-3 and just parking it.
You're safe.
Yeah. I guess it would work out there, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be a 26 footer. Yeah, we did the weight and it far exceeds a 16, so
Oh, okay. Pretty good group by then.
yeah.
K-Cat treated you well. K-Cat treated you well at least.
Yeah.
That's good.
Got to get those egg roll orders in. If
I
you're
know. Yeah,
listening,
need to have James get some egg
cookies.
rolls.
Yeah, got to let me know today. If you're listening to this is the last day before I gotta say no more. So,
I'm gonna hit up Amanda for some big stuff maybe
for
too,
some
huh?
baked goods. Yeah. Yeah, that's been
Your
going
farm,
good.
your little farm stand doing anything? Doing
Yeah,
good?
it's doing really good. I mean, just out of the nowhere, we popped it up, and like uh, yeah, we're averaging about 200 today, which
That's
I mean, for a pop up like flower stand and veggies,
yeah.
that's pretty good.
I mean, it helps. Your house is right there on that main road
It
too, so
is,
that kind of
yeah,
helps. That helps a lot.
yeah, right in between Notre Dame and the toll road, so get a
Yeah,
lot of driving traffic, and we're kind of in the country, but we're like, I mean, you've seen it. It's like 2 blocks
yeah,
away from like everything, so kind of cool.
kind of cool. Yeah,
But yeah, what have you been up to? Building a sidewalk?
build a sidewalk.
Yeah,
Yeah. So trying to more progress remodeling stuff. So our front door never actually had a sidewalk,
yeah.
so we always came in around the house the back side, and so I need to take off my back deck, and so we're gonna do a sidewalk.
I'd pay
So
somebody to do it. So kudos to you for doing that.
so I
There's some
told,
things
told,
I'm
told
willing to do, and others
I
not
told
at all.
I told Jessica we can just pay somebody to do it. She's like, no, I can dig a sidewalk. And then she got about 10 minutes into it. She's like, can we hire somebody just to dig this out?
Yeah, we
Like, can we hire
talked
some
about
high school
this.
kids?
Do you remember this conversation?
Yeah, right. So
uh,
Hello and welcome to another episode of Pyro Unleashed. Tune in weekly as Donnie and David discuss all things pyro, from the business aspect of the industry to technical tips and mesmerizing pyro designs. On Pyro Unleashed, we invite cutting-edge experts to the podcast to discuss their role in making this industry a success. So, sit back and unleash your inner pyro with us.
all
we're going to be
right.
episode 15, I think, here on this one.
15.
They're
Yeah,
going to be episode 15, it looks like, yeah.
yeah, staying strong. I will tell you, Scott is on it, man.
He is.
Scott has been on it.
Scott Smith, he's on it. He's always listening, and yeah, he's always got the watchful eye on everything Cobra, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, that's good though. I mean, that's what it's about. It's all about uh, keeping a clean name for the brand and everything. So
Well, it's the customer service, right? It wants to make sure he's on top of anything. And I know we had a conversation with Brandon Firecat 8 a couple weeks ago. We talked a little bit about a Cobra bug.
yes,
And Scott, and the next that same morning that the episode aired, Scott was immediately in emails with us and Brandon to try to figure out, if it was something that was known or what was going on.
it
And
was within like an hour of the episode coming out.
yeah,
Yeah,
so yeah, he was on it. They already have a patch in the works for it anyway. He'd already known about it, and so
yeah,
yeah, so it was something that was kind of good to kind of see how quickly they're on stuff like that and listening and
yeah.
making sure that there's no issues with their equipment out there. So that was good to see.
Most definitely.
I know Brandon was a little nerve wracked for a second, but yeah.
Literally,
Yeah, that was good.
sitting here like I've had 3 phone calls already since we started recording.
Let's see. It's busy that time of year.
Yeah, that's all right. That's what it's
Yep.
about, right?
Oh, yeah. My phone's
Yeah.
over here blowing up on my.
Yep.
So we've been kind of eagerly awaiting this episode tonight.
We have.
This has been on the top of our list for our favorites, I think, for this season.
I would agree. Yeah, I think we kind of sneak peeked it just a hair last week.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we've been really excited. I think when we were coming up with the thought of this season, and then you started mentioning the Women of Pyro series. I think bringing Stacy on was the
She's at
first.
the top of the list. She was at the top of the list. First thing that came to mind. So,
Well, thank you guys.
Yeah. So
I mean, it helps being somewhat local to where we are in the Kansas City area. So I'm very familiar with Schneitters, and so that was kind of top of the mind as well. So
yeah, most
Well,
definitely.
I appreciate you guys bringing me on.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a good time, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess let's just start diving into this. Obviously, we have Stacy Schneitter, or Blake now, I guess, right? So, want to kind of start off a little bit by who you are and how you got into fireworks.
Well, as most of you guys know, I'm Stacy Schneitter Blake with Schneitter Fireworks, also the president of the National Fireworks Association. Fireworks have been in my life since the beginning. I'm fourth generation fireworks family, and so I've been at our stand and pulling orders and shooting fireworks since I was really little, and it's just part of our tradition, our family, and it's just our heritage is here in the industry.
Yeah, most definitely.
I always tell people it's a Midwest thing. Like Missouri it's always been fireworks growing up, and that's just the way it's like a way of life around here. And it's
Yeah.
yeah.
This is our 130th anniversary this year too.
Wow, that's awesome.
If you didn't get the book 130th,
Yeah,
right
yes.
there. For
It is.
all you people who get the nice little catalogs every year.
We have fun making those.
Yeah.
I've got a stack of them from the past several years. So it's
Do you have a pretty big role in designing them, or is it kind of a family effort, or?
It's kind of an effort. We kind of brainstorm it here in the office, but that's definitely my sister. Tracy, as most people know, she went to the Kansas City Art Institute. And
Okay.
so she gets to use her creative juices definitely in the makings of anything digital with her and Jameson. And we have some other in-house graphic designers too that are local to our area that we work with that are family
That's
as
awesome.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really fun.
So that's definitely Tracy's baby for sure.
For sure, that's awesome. Awesome.
So now you kind of touched on, obviously the Schneiders has been a family business. Kind of walk us through when did Schneiders start, and what's kind of some of the upbringings of where it all began for you guys.
Yeah. So my great grandfather actually is the one that established Schneitter Fireworks. His father also had businesses too. So he was really young, and they were bringing it. They had a lumber yard. They had a Victrola radio company. They had Schneider Sporting Goods, and they were bringing in samples of fireworks on these containers. And so my great grandfather were taking the samples and selling those out of the back of his car. And that's the business that took off out of all the businesses.
Wow.
It was fireworks, and that's the one that stuck. And he was really young when he was doing it. And, his dad had the other businesses, and just kind of trickled down that fireworks is the one that stuck. And then my grandpa and my dad and myself and my kids work here too. So
That's awesome.
they go to conventions with us too. They definitely love PGI. That's their favorite.
Yeah. Yeah.
So obviously you mentioned earlier that you're on the NFA.
Yep.
You're the president of the NFA.
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about how that became. How long you've been a member of NFA, and what really wanted you to get involved and become the president.
Well, it's a great question. My grandparents and my parents, they were some of the founding members of the National Fireworks Association. So this has been, the association has been near and dear to our family and to our business since the beginning of the association. And so I grew up going to the NFA. I was, even in college going to the conventions. And so I think I've actually been to like 20 different ones.
Wow.
And this is also NFA's 30th anniversary. So this coming year. So that's exciting.
Wow.
I've been nominated before and had turned it down. And then when I finally said yes, it kind of took me a while. As many of you guys know, I also have three teenage girls, so that's a task in itself.
All right.
So, it was just kind of one of those passions for me. I've always been helping on the back end, with the auctions, and I was, elections chair, and I'd been on membership things, and, the financial committee. I've been helping NFA for a long time. Nancy and John kind of took me under my wing when my grandpa and dad passed, and Camstar as well. They were great mentors to me. And, I just have a passion and love the association, the industry, it's like my fireworks family, right?
Yeah.
And so I knew that it would be a really big role for me to take on. I got lots of advice, and, it was actually my husband was helping with the 50 Nights of Fireworks in Kansas City at Worlds of Fun a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And I was really trying to pray and debate about, oh my goodness, do I really want to do this? And I was sitting there one night. My husband was the lead on the show that night. And I took my girls. I was like, I'm just going to go. I'm not going to help tonight. I'm just going to go and watch. And this little girl was standing in front of us getting ice cream before the fireworks show. And she was begging her parents to stay for the fireworks show. And they were not having it. And she was just, I want to stay. I want to stay. And so I tapped her parents and I said, hey, if you guys really want to stay, my husband's actually the lead shooter tonight for the fireworks. You can come sit by us. We've got the perfect seat in the house.
That's awesome.
And so they came and kind of sat with us. And I'm going to try not to get emotional. And this little girl, that first tail, it was just a beautiful glittering tail that goes up, right? And this little girl just screams, fireworks! And I'm like, all right. Get me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so through that, and then her parents, they just, before they got up, they just thanked me for, inviting them to sit with us, and they skipped out of the park. And after that, I was like, this is why I'm going to take this. I'm going to run.
Yeah.
And so I want the traditions and the memories for families to continue through our industry. And so that was just kind of one of those, those moments that just hit you. And, my why for what I do here at Schneitters and with NFA is to create and continue traditions through fireworks for families and friends and beyond. So that definitely, it matched and it hit. And I was like, all right, I'm ready to take this on. And, I have three young girls too. And hopefully that will be in the business as well as my sister. And, it was time. I was honored to be nominated and to step up into that role.
Yeah.
Now, outside of NFA, any other associations or any other, fireworks, types of clubs that you're involved in? Or
Yes. NFA is the big one.
Yeah.
And I'm also had been asked to step in as a director and NFA liaison for the American Pyrotechnics Education and Safety Foundation.
Oh, wonderful.
And so that's just been the last couple months. And that's very near and dear to my heart too.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I've always said taking this on is with the associations, safety needs to be our number one priority.
Agreed.
And so I was really honored that they had reached out and asked me to do that as well.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I know. Last week, obviously, we had AJ on, and that's pretty much what we talked about. And so it's awesome that it's coming full circle, and like you, they reaching out to you. They also reached out to us to promote APSEF, which is obviously just a phenomenal organization. So anything we can do to promote safety and the safe lighting of fireworks, it's an honor to be asked. So right there with you.
Yeah, we'd love your help in that.
Yeah.
That's one of those things. I do a lot of safety stuff prior to that, just here in St. Joe with some of the local canned food festivals and movie theater things. We set up, the last 3 weeks of June and hand out safety information and, fireworks posters. It's one of those things. If you can help one kid stay safe, right, then it's worth all the work.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, couldn't agree more. All right. Let's see. The nasty topic that we'll just touch on briefly because I know you've been dealing with it just absolutely so much, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for fighting for the industry and for everything that you're doing to knock down tariffs. Kind of obviously, we talked to AJ last week. Do you want to kind of give a little brief kind of comment about where we're at with moving that along?
Sure. It's got a lot of different moving parts.
Yeah.
You know, this is one of those things that we were alerted to early January.
Yeah.
That first 10% had kind of
Yeah.
arose, right? And so I had went out to the APA convention in February, and the NFA, some of the board members were also there in attendance. We had kind of just told the APA, hey, we've got things happening, and I think it's going to get serious pretty quickly. And
Yeah.
I think this might be a time where we're going to need to, band together and work together on this. This is a whole industry problem.
Yeah,
It can
most definitely.
get really serious really quick. That following week, I actually went out to Washington, D.C. with Steve Hauser and met with our lobbyist, finding our normal fly-in, right?
Yeah.
So every year we kind of do a fly-in to D.C. We meet with, trying to find our champions for our industry, right?
Yeah.
And so we had kind of gotten a little bit more information while we were there, and kind of like, oh, okay, these are our champions. This is what we need to be working on. This is who we need to reach. As we were leaving that morning, we thought we had about another month or so before another tariff would possibly arise. And
Yeah.
so we were like, okay, we've got a month. We've got to, really hit this hard. The morning we left, we got the news of the additional 10%
Wow.
while we were
Right.
there. And so luckily we'd already been there and got our message to, our champions for the industry. And some of those committees and things, like, we already had our information there. So that was really beneficial to the industry going into that. So leading into, I'm just kind of giving you guys a timeline.
Yeah, no, that's
Absolutely. That's fine. Yeah, it
I know
works.
you said it'd be brief,
No,
but
that's more than fine.
and so, we created a tariff team between the two associations with our representatives on both sides. We've had strategies. We've hit, we've been in the New York Times. My article was on the front page of the Washington Post. I interviewed with CNBC this week. NBC, I've got the Wall Street Journal emailed this morning.
Wow.
We have encouraged our members, our fireworks community, to have your voice heard. That's what it's going to take.
Correct.
We do believe in America first objectives. We're fireworks. We're part of that. We are the mom and pops. We're the people on the ground, right? We're bringing the happiness. And we did get a chance to meet with a White House liaison really early into this, kind of giving them some warnings. Hey, this could happen, so on and so forth. Just stating we are a $2.2 billion industry, but if something doesn't happen quickly, we may not be here next year.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they are aware of it. We have been on the ground. We have people in DC representing us. There's a lot of us. All of us companies we're working together. We're having meetings. I went with John Bechtel from Spirit of 76 a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
We went to St. Louis and got to meet with Congressman Jason Smith, sit at his table. We got to go over our packet. The things that are very beneficial for them to know too, right? Because we are wrapped up into this China tariff. And we're entering a very critical situation at this point. And so I will say the president knows of our situation. So
Yeah, that's good.
he does know. Lots of senators are really helping us. We've got a team in DC that's on the ground, and we are constantly working together. Our tariff team talks multiple times a day, mostly in the evenings, because a lot of us are working during the day,
Oh yeah.
catching up on work, right? And so, like last night, I was 1 o'clock in the morning and
Oh,
emailing the tariff team, and I get responses back.
yeah,
So we are working really hard at fighting these tariffs for the industry.
yeah,
So, but it has made the White House. He is aware of our situation. Um, we're just we're in the waiting game.
very good, very good.
Voices, please make your voice be heard to your local. Missouri has been a huge hub for the legislators, and
Yep.
they have been receptive to us, and they are champions. I mean, look how many fireworks companies are just here in Missouri,
Oh, for
right?
sure.
Yeah, a lot.
So we're writing letters daily, and then any of our members that are reaching out to their legislators all over the nation, please let us know. So that
Yeah.
way we can also go ahead and send additional information on the DC side. We'd love to help it any way we can, or send you documents that may help the fight in this cause.
Yeah, and I can attest to that. I was texting AJ, and just this morning I sent one out to a congressman friend of mine. So, yeah,
Yeah,
contact.
let me know.
Yeah,
We'll
contact.
reach out to them.
Yeah, they'll get you the information that you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of took that and personalized it a little bit. Yeah, and
Yeah,
sent it
use our
off.
voter voice platform. We've got it all
Yes.
set up on the NFA website as well as the
Yeah.
APA. We even have a template there you can use to even go directly to your legislators, or you can use the voter voice platform, put in your zip code. It's all there. You can write your own, like, please have your voices be heard,
Yes.
because these talks are happening at the DC level. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Do you have any like personal feeling one way or the other on how you think this is going to play out? Do you think this is going to be a long term, or you have a feeling it's just a short term kind of speed bump thing?
I sure hope it's not long term.
Yeah. I hear that.
Going into it, we decided there was a short-term strategy, a long-term strategy, and a grassroots effort. And I think we're still hitting all three of those right now.
Okay.
So, and we're going to continue to fight for our industry and the pyros out there.
Wonderful. Yeah. Because, I mean, even, I think you touched on it a little bit. Like, this is not just the pyro industry. Like, this is also affecting, churches and
Boy Scout groups
your
and
school
mom and pop.
groups. And
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I mean, this is, this is hitting more than just, the small group of pyros. Like,
Right.
club livelihood depends on going out and the
Yeah.
parents
I
selling
mean,
these fireworks for
Think
their
about the
support.
veterans groups. These
Oh,
are
yeah.
big fundraisers for our customers and our members. And
Yeah.
so they've been doing it. I mean, there's fireworks. There's a lot of families in this
Mhm.
industry that are multi-generational even.
Yep.
And that includes the mom and pops. And
Correct.
so we want to continue to fight for them. And they are America first, right?
Correct.
So we told the White House liaison when we got the chance to meet with them, one of the things I said is, fireworks are one of those things going into the next year that going into our 250th anniversary, the president can unite us. All red and blue states shoot fireworks.
Correct.
Yep.
And so that's one thing that can really unite the country
Yeah.
and celebrate how great it is to be here in America.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree 100%. And I know our current president, he's all for, obviously using fireworks for celebration. So I guess when I did see that the tariffs were coming about, it was a little, it threw me back a little bit, right? Because I wasn't expecting it. And in my honest opinion, I think we just kind of got thrown in to the middle of a trade war. And unfortunately, we're just kind of being in the middle of it.
And in
And
2019, he did exempt the fireworks
Correct.
industry.
yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
And so, going into it, we thought it would be more of a short-term situation but, as we were in DC, we were finding out quickly there was not a place to apply for an exemption. And
Yeah.
so we knew we were going to have to hit the ground running on this situation.
Yeah.
And both associations are working day and night on this.
Yep.
So
Yep. Again, we really appreciate it. Thank you guys so
Absolutely.
much for your time and effort, sleepless nights, literally.
Yeah.
Or
We're ready
you know,
for this
the
nightmare
industry.
to be over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can understand that. All right.
Enough of all that
All right.
all that nonsense. Enough of that nonsense. That's so. What kind of pyro events do you attend throughout there? I know you mentioned kind of PGI a little bit. You attend other pyro type events and
Do.
shows.
I do. So obviously PGI is one.
Yeah.
Usually my family, my husband and my kids, we're usually all out there. I kind of hang out over there in the collector's corner. And so obviously we're a very old company. And so we get to display and sell and auction off some of the pyro memorabilia that we've had for in our family. So obviously that one. Obviously the NFA is one. I also go to the Mid-States event that's in South Missouri in Buffalo.
Yeah.
I usually try to get out to CobraCon this year. I was not able to make it out to that. I also like to go to the fireworks collector swaps. That is one of my favorite things to do. I've been to some kind of all over the country, but the one I always try to make sure I make it to is Black Markets, Tom Wilson's in Joplin. If you guys have never been to one, it's great. We have a great time. You get to kind of see people sell, trade. We shoot old fireworks. It's really fun.
That's
one
awesome.
of my fun
That's
events
cool.
that I get to go to. Obviously,
Yeah.
art shows. So.
You ever make it out to like Sky? You ever make it out to like Sky Wars or
I have
any of those?
not. And I've been going to APA as well. So,
Okay.
no, because usually Sky Wars is kind of the last one after
It's
my
the
travel
end.
season,
Yeah.
and my
That's
kids
kind of
are
the
kind
nice fun cap. Yep. For the
yes,
end of
I would
travel
like to
season.
make it out there at some point. But yeah, my family is definitely like, oh, you're gonna be gone again.
Yeah.
So, it maybe as my kids start, finishing high school, I'll get to go to a couple more events. So
Yeah, and usually that is the same week as APA.
yeah, they kind of sometimes coexist. on the same-
Coexist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Overlap a little bit
Yeah.
for sure. I guess you kind of touched on it. We were going to ask you what your favorite event you attend, and it sounds like the Pyrobelia, which is absolutely awesome. Yeah.
I would say, they're all different, right? And let's be honest, I enjoy them all because of the people.
For sure. Yeah.
It's the people. I love this industry. I love my fireworks family.
Oh, yeah.
For generations, a lot of them are my dad's old friends, and so those stories are really fun to get to
Yeah.
find out how honored my dad was sometimes.
Yeah. For sure.
So,
Yeah, I guess let's kind of touch on some of that. It kind of leads into the next question. What are some of your favorite pyro memories?
okay, so one of my favorite pyro memories was at a PGI convention. My dad and grandpa, actually, just a backstory, they had passed within the same year of each other. And so
wow.
I had the opportunity, and this is when PGI used to do the super string.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
you used to have to auction off. Well, my mom got to do it the year before in Gillette, and she won the auction to light it for my dad in honor of
That's
him.
awesome.
And then I did for my grandpa, won the auction to shoot that off. And it was really memorable and exciting, just as a tribute to my family to get
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the local memories, right? Like on the 5th of July, one of my favorite things to do when my kids were little is bring them up on the 5th of July, because obviously when you work fireworks, you don't get to see your kids very often. They're a very limited amount of time.
Yeah.
And we would get to sit in the parking lot in between customers and shoot novelties and just get to spend time shooting fireworks with my kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those
And
are
really,
probably my
again,
two, like,
I
top.
feel like, yeah, that's an American tradition that, like, it will live on, whether or not you're in the firework industry or not. Like, you look back on childhood memories, and I remember that's how I got into fireworks, is remembering my dad lighting fireworks in the backyard. Like, that's what sticks out.
Yep.
So, yeah,
The
most
4th of July
definitely.
parties that it's the traditions. That's
Yeah.
what it is. And so
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know a person that I haven't met that they're like, oh, what do you do for a living? And then I tell them and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
right? They're like, oh, I wasn't expecting you to say that. But everybody you meet and you tell them you do fireworks, they have a memory tied to it.
Exactly.
They have a story.
Yeah.
And those are the stories I want to continue.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Now we get into some of the other favorites.
Yeah.
I probably know the answer to some of this stuff, but any particular favorite effects or brands of fireworks that you have that you've seen?
Okay, so my favorite items are actually wheels.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I love
nice.
wheels.
Yeah.
I love the art of wheels. Gerundoles are always fun too.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen with those though.
Yep.
Very consistent. But wheels, there's an art to it, right?
Yeah.
And I love to get to watch wheels. Sometimes in shows we'll do a wall of wheels.
Oh, yeah.
And I love doing a wall of wheels.
Yeah.
But my sister usually for our shows, she'll shoot at least one wheel for me.
That's awesome.
On the 4th of July because she knows that that's my favorite. At PGI, when they come and build the giant wheels, the guys from Malta, I think, did it last year.
Yes,
Yep.
that was crazy last year. That was cool.
And
Yeah.
so wheels are actually my favorite item.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So they're I don't want them to be in a lost art. I want them to continue.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, they've been they've been pretty underutilized, I think, especially in recent years, and with the art of pyro musicals. I don't think they've really been utilized properly. So, yeah, interesting. Now you got my got some
So-
ideas.
We're
All
taking
of
my
wheels.
ideas for Skyward. So we're taking my Skyward ideas now.
Oh, well,
You're
Sky
using
Wars.
wheels, David. You're using wheels. I'm using them.
Yeah,
Wrong
then I
wheels.
guess maybe I'm gonna have to show up.
Yeah, 26.
26. There
Hey.
you go. 2026.
I might be celebrating. Maybe just a little, hopefully. So.
All right, and favorite brand. I have a feeling I know the answer, but
Probably Danger Doll, guys.
Yeah, there you go.
that's awesome. All right.
It's been really fun to create that and be part about that. That's my sister's baby, like I said. And so that's been really fun, the creation of that.
This is the Pyro Unleashed Cake Review, brought to you by PGI.
Since its founding in 1969, the PGI has been dedicated to helping you do whatever you love and want to do in fireworks, legally and safely. Whether that is enjoying consumer fireworks with the family and friends, becoming a fireworks display operator, learning how fireworks are made, photographing firework displays, collecting pyro memorabilia, or all these things and everything in between, there are PGI members that share these same passions. This year, PGI is holding their annual convention in Boone, Iowa from August 2nd through the 9th. So, looking forward to being there for 10 or 11 days.
When you go, Stacy, or you guys are the whole week?
Yeah.
For the whole...
Usually, it sometimes depends on when school starts for my kids, but
Okay, yeah.
I'm planning on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really close. It's not very far from us. It's
Yeah, it's super
It was-
close.
it's
Super
like
close.
3
yeah.
hours, three,
Yeah.
3-4
I
hours.
think it's like 6.5 for me, so it's not horrible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know there'll be a lot of K-Cat people here this year again. So, all right, cake review here. So I just cruising on YouTube and came across it. So Winda fireworks. It's called Professor Pyro. It's a 16 shot, 200 gram cake.
okay.
I've actually got it ready, I think, here for us this time today. Let's take a little watch here and see what we think of this thing.
Stinking crackle.
Crackle at the end.
Hey, people
I was
love
gonna say-
crackle, guys.
I was gonna say I really like that cake. Like, it's not very often. The breaks. I'm assuming that was a 200 gram.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not often you see angles on a 200 gram. Usually they're
Oh, yeah,
straight up.
yeah.
So
I like the colors on some of it too. Some of it had some really bright colors in there.
yeah. The willow with just like the nice color pop. It's there and
Yeah.
it's gone really quickly. It was really nice.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Swimming stars was really nice.
Yeah, they claimed it's a new design. So I don't know if that was a new design of the label, new design of the cake. Just
Yeah.
a new design. So
Is it a 12 one?
it's 16 shot, 200 gram.
Doesn't say the
Yeah.
packing on it.
Yeah, I don't think I see. I don't know if I have the bag. It's probably like a 12 one or an 8 one, probably.
Yeah. Huh,
Yeah,
I like it though.
Yeah.
Huh.
So that was just put out on their YouTube channel just a couple weeks ago. So
Due to tariffs, we won't see it till 27.
Hey, I'm hoping sooner.
Open.
We're fighting for sooner.
I hear you. Out of 1 to 10, what do you give that one, Donnie?
I mean, I didn't mind that little crackle at the end. I kind
Yeah,
of
it
a
was.
nice little
It
cake.
wasn't horrible, really.
For a consumer cake, like a 7.7.
Yeah, yeah. I would say like 7, 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not very designable as a pyro,
As a
like,
scripter.
pyro-
Yeah, yeah.
pyro musical cake, but overall, like, consumer cake, yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, yeah. So, how about you, Stacy? What'd you think about that one? 1 to 10.
I liked the beginning with a little bit of tail. So obviously, I like
Yeah.
some kind of glittering tail. I like
Yeah.
for a 200 gram. I thought that was great. It had lots of different effects, and now I wrote it down. I've got to look into that one. The angle in a 200 gram, you don't see that as,
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
and so that's definitely one that I'm like, okay, it's on my
Yeah.
radar.
Yeah. Unless you get like a mini zipper, the angles are really
Yeah.
not ever there.
Yeah.
Like a ripper zipper or something
Yeah.
like along those lines. Yeah. So yeah,
But yeah, for a 200 gram,
Yeah.
I liked it.
might have to
Cool.
find it.
So speaking of firework stuff, I guess we'll get in a little more about Schneitters and what kind of brands and products do you guys carry?
Yeah.
Okay, well, obviously, Danger Doll
Yeah.
is our house brand,
Yeah.
is our brand, and some people may not know that we wholesale consumer products, pro line or professional use only,
Yeah.
and 1-3,
Okay.
and we have for a long time. We wholesale all of those, so we carry Wizard for in the 1-3 and the professional use only. Winda, Brothers, Miracle, Bright Star, Wiz, Rock You. We carry some of their consumer line, compound cakes, but most of it is in our professional use only.
All right. So I want to touch on something before you go any farther. I'm sorry. You said Rock You. I
Uh-huh.
just learned about that the other week. I thought it was always Rakio, and it's not. It's Rock You.
Like, we will
We
rock you.
Yeah. Did you know
Oh,
that, Don?
wow. Okay, rocket. Wow, that's weird. Huh?
Yep.
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 So that's how they told us to remember that.
Yep. Exactly.
Rock you. Interesting.
Yep.
So, anyways, go ahead. Sorry about that. I just want a little.
You're fine. No. That's what they've
little
told us.
bit back. Yeah.
Mighty Max, we still carry Black Cat, Top Gun, Iron Man, Firehawk, T-Sky, and Mecha this year.
I will say that the T-Sky Pro line stuff is pretty nice. I've
Yep.
gotten some of the single shots from you guys before, and they're really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
He
size
does-
single shots?
They're like 62s or
Shelf?
60 or 62s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, like-
they're really nice effects. I mean,
Yeah.
The
Wanna
colors
check
are
that
great
out?
on those.
yeah.
He did a really good
Yeah.
job on those.
Yeah, and I know when I got them, the price on them was a lot cheaper than a lot of other 62s and 60s and single shot stuff. It was, yeah, pretty good deal on the wholesale.
You're gonna make me put an order in on the way out.
Yeah.
Sue's still here in the office with me.
now on your wholesale, do you have minimums on wholesale and stuff like that, or how's that
On
kind
the
of work for you
consumer
guys?
side, we do have at least a 10 case minimum.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And then how does your
And-
pricing structure work?
We just have one price list.
Okay.
Everybody gets the same price list. And then there's volume discounts.
Okay.
And then we do usually, we just got done with one with our demo. We did still honor our annual demo sale.
Okay.
And so that happened during our demo week. Even though we had the news of what was to come, we're taking care of our customers.
Yeah.
And so, that ended early April. But, yep. So we just have the one price list and then volume discounts.
Very good.
It's a little different on the 1-3 side. and the professional use only products, just because people are needing certain specific things for shows. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But from the consumer side, we have at least a 10 case minimum
And then is that for per order, or is that like a,
for the
calendar
year.
year? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Wonderful. Good to know.
So you kind of mentioned after you had your demo and the sale and stuff like that. How is your guys' season going so far? Like, are you guys on track? You doing good?
Yeah, we, here at Schneider's, we've been saying we've been really blessed since we were bringing things in. We got things early. We started getting containers last July. So
Yeah.
did we leave and put orders on hold in China? Yes, we did. We did have to reroute some containers that were headed to the port. It was just the fluidity of the situation. We just needed to do that.
Well, yeah,
You
I
know,
mean, you don't know. I mean, the tariffs could have been removed 2 weeks later, and then you have 1 or 2 containers that you're sitting here that are 2.5 times the price that they should be. And,
Yeah.
You'd hate to pass that on to the customer.
Yeah.
right. And so, we have noticed people are shopping early, and we've encouraged it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when local people around here, just on the retail side, that when they come in with any news interview that I've been doing, especially local, they ask my advice, right? And I said, shop early, because there are going to be, yes, we have plenty of fireworks to sell for this season. However, some of your favorites may be limited, or they didn't make it, and so it's one of those. We have fireworks to sell, but I would encourage anybody to shop early. And that's even on the wholesale side, right?
Agreed.
And so we're all just kind of now knowing what we're going to have for the season. And so I would definitely, if you've got your favorites, you better be calling
Get them on
retailer,
reserve.
your supplier. So
Yeah. Couldn't agree
don't
more.
wait this year.
And then as far as like you have your own house brand Danger Doll and stuff like that. How has it been working with China to get products made and imported? How's that experience been for you?
We have really great relationships with our suppliers. We've been, doing this for 130 years. And so they've been really excited to work with us too. Because we don't use just one place. And so we've used multiple different factories and multiple different effects.
Yeah.
And, my sister always has a vision, or she's seen something and then she wants to do this XYZ, right?
Yep.
And so, can you do this? Can you change this? Can you? And then all of our artwork is done in-house here at Schneitters.
Oh, very good.
And so that's been fun too. And it's fun to watch them do a lot of that. Like I said, that's my sister's baby. And so it's been fun to, have input in it, and hey, what should we do this year? What should we, those fun things. But it's been good working with them. Obviously, some of our products aren't going to make it for this for this season. But we're hoping we'll get a demo some of them. So at some of the events coming up this fall, hopefully.
And then where did the name Danger Doll come from? Is there a story behind that, or where'd that come from?
Yes, there is. There's always a story, right? And so it's really fitting, right? We're a women-owned company. Yeah. So using something with women, right? And then my dad was in the Guard. And so that's where we kind of see the ladies on the plane, the World War II things. So we kind of wanted to go with that route too, right? To honor my dad and the past, right? The multi-generational thing.
Yeah.
And so, but Danger Doll is actually, so for those of you who don't know, my sister was a roller derby girl.
Okay. All right.
And
cool.
So Danger Doll was also one of the team names.
Okay.
And so we talked to them, and it was just totally fitting, Danger and fireworks and doll. And so, yeah, lots of influences with that. There's lots of touches in all the things that we do that we've kind of there's little secret Schneider things and everything.
And you say that, and it's almost like even our company, we'll do little subtle hints here or there, when we're branding or marketing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just kind of,
it makes it unique to
a lot
us.
of fun. Exactly.
And you kind of will start noticing my now that I tell you these things. My sister obviously was in art school, right?
Yeah.
And she loves Halloween too. We just must
Okay.
be a holiday family, right?
Yeah.
And so you'll see lots of touches of Halloween type, morbid type things.
Very good.
Everybody's gonna go start looking for all the little Easter eggs now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's little
That's
Easter eggs in
awesome.
just about everything.
That's fun. Yeah. How many locations do you guys have?
So we just have our main location here, and we've got
Okay.
some warehouses, you know, spread out around this area. So
Yeah. Okay. Very good. And do you
our
guys set
main
up?
warehouse is here at Schneitters in St. Joe, and then we've got trailers back there. We've got our bunkers. We've got a downtown building. So
Gotcha. Then do you guys set up tents at all, or just your one store?
no, we're mostly a wholesale company, and
Okay.
then our showroom slash retail is what's behind me.
Yeah, you had a sale that kind of wrapped up in April.
Yeah.
Any other potential sales between now and the 4th of July that people might be looking out for or anything?
Not on the wholesale side. We'll do our local ads for our retail customers.
Yeah.
And so we've been working on those. And that's kind of the St. Joe, Kansas City market, right? But if you're in the area, yes, we will have, some sales on our retail side.
Okay. And then I know you guys obviously just had just the April demo. Any other demos? I know you mentioned maybe the fall people will see some demos. Where are some places that people will actually be able to see your product get demoed at?
So obviously we have our spring demo here at Schneider's, and then in the fall we usually go to Mid-States event and demo there, and we also do a consumer demo at in the NFA.
Okay. Very good. Very good. And do you guys have a YouTube channel that you're
We
posting?
do. We do
Okay.
have a YouTube channel. We post a lot of our videos there. Everything's kind of categorized by brand, or we try to.
Okay.
There are some, we're still trying to catch up on getting some of those videos
Yeah.
uploaded this
Of course.
season. That's a daunting task.
Yes, it is.
So, but we do try to keep them per brand, just so it's easier and more organized.
Yeah.
A lot of our 1-3 cakes are also on there and professional use only. So,
Okay. Very good. Yeah, I get it. We had our our YouTube channel was completely nuked last year, so we've been trying to switch over to gosh, I can't even think of what we're using now. But
So-
yeah, it's just less censorship over there, and yeah, just nuts. So
yeah.
I get it. We're trying to recover all those videos, and that is not.
So you lost your YouTube
We
channel?
did.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That stinks. The NFA, we're dealing with a lot of the Facebook realm, and I've been
Yeah.
so we've actually gotten, I think, 4 people's pages back this past week.
Really?
Oh,
Wow.
Nice.
That's
So-
awesome.
Yep.
Personal
So
and business accounts.
they're professional, they're company like pages,
Companies.
they're company pages. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's lots of the NFA. So just so you know, a year ago, I was able to meet in DC with a Meta rep.
Oh, okay.
okay.
The NFA has been working with them, and we got to educate them on our industry.
Very
And so,
good.
but everybody needs to be very careful. They post within their policy. So if you're a brick and mortar store and you're a member of NFA, check your newsletters, because we put lots of things out there that will be very helpful to you.
Okay, perfect. Well, I was going to ask if there were key trigger words.
They won't give us any trigger words, but be very careful. If you are a brick and mortar store, make sure to have that in your intro. That's huge.
Okay.
And always, put at our location in any of your posts. So I will give you
Okay.
those.
Very good. Yep,
Yeah.
those are very helpful tips.
That
Yeah.
is another task that the NFA has been taking on, and we have been sending them lots of information to help with our industry and to educate them as well.
Very good. Very good.
It's cool. It's cool.
Awesome. And then do you guys carry Articles Pyrotechnic? Do you guys offer training classes for PGI or any other? Okay.
Yep. And so in the fall, we offer 2 classes, and it's Tom Wilson. I don't know if you guys know him. He does.
Yeah.
So he teaches 2 classes here in the fall. So he does the PGI course and the Missouri Certified State course. So
Okay.
it's kind of one that he uses within, the surrounding states as well. But yeah, Tom comes up and teaches 2 classes for us in the fall. We like to do that in the fall when we have maybe a little extra time and we blow up some pumpkins.
Right.
And so,
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, yeah, you mentioned Missouri there real quick. We're gonna come back to that a little bit. So, how is the new kind of guidance from the fire marshals in Missouri about needing to have a display operator's license to be able to purchase professional use products? How are you guys handling that on your end?
so right now, the bill has went through the House and the Senate.
Okay.
I think I just got an email that it has went to the governor's office.
Okay.
Oh,
And so we will be starting to work on those rules and regulations very quickly. So that's another thing that I've been involved in helping with, trying to just have them help understand the situation. And
Yeah.
so they have been very responsive to us. And I got word from one of my customers that they did not, because they did not have to. It was not requiring an ATF license anymore
Yeah.
or employee possessor. So that has been a
Okay.
big thing that
That's
we've
really
kind of
good.
communicated as it says, if applicable, they do not need, we've been kind of encouraging that to just do a regular background check. So I did have confirmation from a customer of mine that applied for the Missouri shooting license, that they called him back and said that he did not need to have his ATF license.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So
That'd
there
be
is
good. Yeah.
progress. They are working with us, so that's been great here in Missouri. So
Wonderful. That is really good to hear.
that will be a huge thing for them to proceed with. So
Yeah.
that we've been really encouraging.
Yeah. Yeah, I know here I'm in Indiana, but we have bunkers and stuff in Illinois, and they're even stating, and I can't remember if Missouri was like this or not, but they've even been saying like you need to put Proline in bunkers. You don't need to, keep track of inventory. And I'm like, that's just excessive.
Yeah, and
It's
I'm
just
not sure with state by state,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but as of right now, no, it's not being mandated by the ATF at this point.
All right. And so now I guess we're going to get to the section here where we kind of what kind of brought all this on was our Women in Pyro series.
yeah.
So Stacy happens to be the third in our series. So we started the season off with Sam Christensen, then we had Sabrina from American Wholesale, and now we get to have Stacy from Schneitters that kind of did. And we do have another woman
We do.
in Pyro lined up for our season finale kind of closing. And so we kind of wanted to do this series because we really wanted to highlight the women that are in the industry, because this, from a perspective, is very male dominated, and you don't see a lot of women out there. And we wanted to give more women the opportunity to have their voice and their experiences and stuff like that. And so we just kind of wanted to, from your perspective, yeah, I mean, you've obviously grown up in this life, so it's probably been maybe a little bit different for you. But what has it been like for you as a woman in Pyro?
It has been both challenging and incredibly rewarding, right? There's a unique sense of pride in being part of this industry already.
Yeah.
Growing up in this industry, it is probably a little different for me. Some people still think of me as actually just Rick's daughters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so that's a different thing on top of it, right? And so they've seen me grow up. And sometimes I'm 40 years old, guys.
Yeah.
Now that I'm aging myself and now everybody knows. But I've stepped into the tradition, and especially women shaping our future. And I have 3 girls, right?
Yeah.
And this has been one of those things. I was talking to another pyrotechnics friend of mine this week. We were working on something, and he just said, I just wanted to thank you for stepping out as a woman in this industry, because he has daughters, and he loves to see women in leadership positions in the fireworks industry. And he just thanked me. He goes, because I want them to feel like they have a place. And so that was really honoring, and I was really appreciative that he did say that to me. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's
That's cool.
awesome.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. And then, what challenges, I guess, maybe have you faced in the industry, over the years?
Yeah, there's been some. And so, here at Schneider, some of them is, we're women led. Sue, that's in our office, has been here for 46 years.
Wow.
So
Wow.
longer than I've been alive too. And she's family, right?
Yeah.
She is our family. She's great. She's been an asset to us. She's been in Women in Pyro for a really long time.
Yeah.
And so, but there has definitely been moments where I've had to like prove my knowledge
Yep.
or experience to a male counterpart. That's even coming into the store, right? And
Yeah.
or to go load out somebody, right? And I don't know if you've been loaded out here at Schneider's or not. And we get a lot of, hey, where's the guys?
Yeah.
And my sister's rocking it and fitting every single piece in there. And they're like, oh, sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Like,
All
oh,
right.
you know what you're doing, and just fighting some of those hurdles. And, it's those moments, they still happen. But it's also pushed me to be sharper, more resilient, and more confident in my expertise too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just so, but yeah, people have been great, but there's still a little bit of it.
So at least a little bit to the next question. Do you feel like you've been treated differently?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Maybe in some ways, it depends on the setting, right? Sometimes it's a little subtle, but being women, being one of the only women in the room, which happens quite often,
Yeah.
and having, input, just having a little bit more input and questioned, just being a female, um, that does happen sometimes. Those are kind of the more obvious things. But, I've also found that many in the industry are eager to support women and myself and uplift us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was saying with my friend, and a lot of us women pyro, we're kind of like a girl gang
Yep.
when we
Yep.
get
Yep.
together.
Yep.
You probably kind of see some of that when we get together, especially at PGI. We shoot shows together, or we're out doing something together, or
Yeah.
getting together and working on projects. You kind of probably start noticing that a little bit more that I've said that. you know, and respect does come with time, consistency, and showing that we do know what we're talking about.
For sure.
It's one of those, like, most people have been great, but yeah, I've had some comments and things in the past, but and some of it has been more some other women in pyro, right? I grew up in it, and so a lot of people have already known me, and they know that my family's been doing this for a long time.
And then what can we all do to get women more involved? I think that's kind of key here.
Right. So visibility matters, right? Going to events, getting in front of things, getting involved in KCAP, getting involved in, different kind of pyro events.
Yeah.
Just going and like sitting in my class, learning how to shoot fireworks,
Yeah.
go to CobraCon, go to those things, being visible, and educating yourself. That's huge.
And then obviously you have three daughters, so
I do.
this is probably a good question for you. Any advice for women who may want to be more involved, and those young girls growing up, some advice for them on how to kind of be more involved?
Yeah. So, don't wait for permission, right? Step in and do it scared. That is one of
Yeah.
my, I think for the last couple years, that's probably been my motto at this point. So, like I said, education, right?
Yeah.
Learn everything you can. Find your people in the industry, right? Find your people, your groups, not just women, right? There's a lot of guys, like anybody, like just find your group of people that have your common interests, right?
Yeah.
And work with them and learn from them. And, that support your growth in what you're doing, stepping out in that, just girls love fireworks too, right?
Yep.
And so,
Yep.
even in the past, my sister and I were working with suppliers, just on, hey, can you please put a princess on a parachute? And then it happened,
Yep.
right? And so we asked for years, we're like, hey, could you make that? And now look, we have multiple princesses on
Lots.
there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we've just encouraged our suppliers, and this has been years ago, right? Like, bring in some novelties for the girls, and they've heard us. They have heard
Yeah.
our voice on that, and it's been great. It's been great for the industry, and marketing it to girls in pyro.
Correct.
So I would say, don't be afraid and do things scared.
Wonderful.
Do things scared. There you go.
Do things scared. I like that.
This is Pyro News, brought to you by Dominator Fireworks.
Again, thank you to Dominator Fireworks.
Yeah.
They're one of China's fastest growing firework brands. Dominator Fireworks covers all categories of fireworks, including consumer fireworks and professional display pyrotechnics. In addition to the Dominator brand name products, they produce many private label products for the customers. Dominator can manufacture or procure any product to meet your exact packaging and product specifications, or they'll recommend products for your needs. So some more lighthearted news. I don't know what's gotten into me. Instead of people getting hurt, we're finding some happy news, I guess.
Well, it's not New Year's and it's not the 4th of July.
So I guess people aren't getting hurt yet, right? Yeah, wait until next season. This is out of Canada, all Canadian Honda celebration for light for summer 2025.
Yeah.
Their annual Honda celebration of light in Vancouver will feature exclusively Canadian pyrotechnic teams this year. This is their 33rd edition of the 3-day fireworks event over English Bay. Will boast a lineup of performances by technicians from Yukon, Quebec, and Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Over the last several months have proven to be a challenging period for the great nation. However, the circumstances have contributed to a wave of nationalism and unprecedented. Michael Knight, co-chair of the Fireworks Festival Society. Is in this spirit that we are wrapping up our 2025 event in Canadian flag and celebrating everything that is great about this country. In recent years, teams from Portugal, Malaysia, the UK, Australia, Mexico, and Philippines, Spain have shot shows up there in Vancouver over this time. But this year they wanted to do it with all Canadian teams for all the nationalism they've had up there. And it's celebrated on the evenings of Saturday, July 19th. July 23rd and July 26th. So the Royal Canadian Air Force will be doing a demonstration as well up there. So maybe if you want to get away from the heat in the end of July, take a little trip to Canada. Might be a little cooler. See some fireworks.
Go ice fishing? No, that's wrong.
Probably not that. Probably not that either. Farther north. You gotta go farther north for that in the summertime. So yeah, a little interesting thing there.
All right.
We had a whole slew of Discord questions.
Man, it's one of the bigger
Well, I mean,
questions. So
the KCAP people have questions.
Yeah,
they have
lots
questions.
of KCAP questions. All right, I'm gonna start it off.
Well, actually, the first question came actually from AJ.
First question did come from AJ, so gotta ask that. Who all did you babysit in the past that was in the industry?
Oh boy. So
he told us there were some stories behind some of this stuff.
So when I was younger, we went to the APA convention at DC. Not DC, sorry, at Disney World. And I remember my grandpa giving me a card and said, "Take care of everybody." And I was like, "Oh, awesome! I got a Disney card. I can go to the arcade, do this or that." And then I realized at the end, I was like, "Shoot, I was the babysitter to all these kids." So, yeah. So obviously, my sister was one of those, right? But not really babysitting her. So, but.
That's
But
funny.
yeah, so I've been the babysitter not realizing it. Yeah, there's some guys at PGI as well. So I babysat before, so
That's funny.
they
That's
probably
awesome.
babysat me too. Some of those guys.
What do you think your biggest accomplishment so far with the NFA is?
That's a great question. I think that's a multi-level question,
Yeah.
right? One of the biggest things is, uniting some of these associations together. And that's not just me. that's the associations being behind that too.
Yeah.
Being in this industry in my family for many generations, I think that's helped, kind of bridge some of those gaps as well. Another accomplishment, getting into Meta and Facebook
Yes.
for our industry
Yeah.
is huge.
Yeah.
Just educating them, right? Getting into DC, finding our champions. That's been going on some too. But just the collaboration between associations, especially on safety, right? Like we all need to be collaborating on that. Those would be some of the, also we are bringing the NFA back to the Midwest. So that's been exciting. But definitely those are probably some of the major accomplishments, just bringing, also we did just, we created an NFA international committee as well. And they've been a great help on this tariff stuff too. So there's been a lot of stuff. Our board and our members, our chairs, they're awesome. And so we have our past presidents, I've talked to them at a great deal of length. This industry, like I said, I've been coming for a long time. I've been in it for a long time. Just we're working together, and that's been huge and to see over the last couple years. Just even the fireworks companies, right? Like they're competitors, but we're working together, and we're making it better for the whole industry. And I think that's a great accomplishment for our board, our chairs, and our industry.
Yeah. Agreed. Do you have any future goals for the NFA, or like yourself in the NFA?
I'm always willing to learn and wanting to learn and taking our industry to the next level. Really, I would like, I'm going back to the Facebook thing. I would really like to get an approval process. That would be a huge goal of mine. I've been working on submitting documents to Meta. Mostly it's been on the education part, right?
Yeah.
But I've also like, hey, here's what that would be helpful with us. They've done it with a couple other industries, and so why can't they do it with us?
Yeah.
And so that would be a huge goal of mine, to see that kind of platform, because it's not just Facebook, it's it's Instagram, it's all of these, getting our voices heard on that would be a huge goal for us as an industry.
Next question was, why haven't you joined KCAP yet?
I would love to. I love KCAP. It's the time. I'd love to get to some of their events. But yeah, that's probably why. It's time.
Yeah. What is your favorite time of year as a pyro?
Oof, that's a good question.
July 5th through the July 28th.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't know. I feel like I'm doing pyro all year round. And so, that time where I do get to spend time with my family and concentrate on them, that's obviously a huge, my family. I mean, why else are we doing this, right? It's for our families. And that is also, being a woman in pyro and doing what I'm doing, that is also like showing my kids, right? And the next generation. And this is another, it kind of goes back. I was talking to a few people, but I've said, I'm fighting for this industry because of the generations behind us and the generations for us.
Yeah.
And so, but, I could use a little downtime. But I do love the travel season, when I get to see my fireworks family.
Oh, yeah.
So, you get that little bit of break after the 4th of July. I don't know if I call it a break. But we get to be with each other. And then, during the winter months, I get to be here at Schneitters for the innovation part, right? What we're going to do next, what we're going to create, or how are we going to help our customers, or how can we help with this marketing thing? And so I guess those would be some of my favorites.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the travel for me, I mean, CobraCon is a nice waking back up to seeing everybody, and then you hit the 4th, and then it's right after you have PGI and NFA, and just you hitting these big conventions and hanging out with your Pyro family for weeks on end, and catching back up, seeing how their their season went. And yeah, I agree. I think it's a lot of fun. A big part of the fun. So, have you ever shot a Pyro musical before?
I've been a part of one. I've never been a lead of one.
Okay.
But yeah, like I've helped with at PGI, obviously, with the girls group,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Cherry Bombs.
Yep.
And so
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
gotten to help on some of those shows. The Pyro music, like I've gotten to help with some, but I've never been a lead of one. Here at Schneitters, we definitely shoot fireworks to music. And so it's one of those I like getting to be involved in. Oh, like the music part, with Jameson here in the office, and these products, like, and I'll tell our lead shooter, hey, I'd really like to see this. But I've never got to be a lead, but I definitely have helped on some shows.
Yeah. Have influence. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. I think we did touch on history of the family.
Yeah.
Get through that.
And we kind of know what she enjoys the most, I think, about the business.
Yeah. Is Sue ever going to be allowed to retire?
That was from Travis. That was from
That was
Travis, by the way.
Yeah.
Travis Kramer.
Sue's the best. I don't, and it's kind of, we're family, right? Like, it's like we're all family. I don't know if she'll ever want to retire. I don't want her to retire. But, that's a question for Sue.
That's a question. All right. All right. And last question. What are some of the biggest changes you've seen in the industry?
Oh boy. Let me think on that. Obviously, from when I was a kid, the variety, right? That's huge. The innovation, the Pyro musicals, the technology, right?
Yeah.
I love the technology piece and what it can do. My sister's old school and loves to hand shoot everything. So all the stuff she does, she hand fires everything because she says she's an old school pyro, right? But that's the great thing. You can do both. But yeah, definitely, like, even the labeling, right? Like, and that's with us too. Like, the innovation of our product, the relationships with, our Chinese suppliers, the changing of the product, definitely the variety. That's been huge. Obviously there's some governmental issues, and, reaching out to them and, creating those relationships and education. And so that would also be another thing that's changed, sometimes for the better, and safety, the safety of our product, just getting that education piece out too, right? So there's definitely a lot more safety messages out there to help our cause.
Well, I think that about does it. Want to give a final plug for Schneider's website and how they can reach out and buy some of your guys' fantastic product.
Sure. Obviously, our website is schneiderfireworks.com. We are currently still trying to always put our news up there. You can get to our catalog. You can reach out to us there, contact us for pricing, and for all three products, all consumer 1.4, professional use only, and 1.3 products.
Perfect. And then can you order online, or do you have to email in an order, or how do you guys handle that?
So right now, with how our website is currently, you cannot order online, but you can submit us an order through, an Excel sheet, or just call an order in with us, email an order in to us. You can use info@schneiderfireworks.com. That'll go to Sue, myself, and the team. And so Sue has been a great asset to us. Like, she holds it together here for us. And I've got to give kudos to the Schneitters team, because I have been working many extra hours, and they've been holding up the fort here as I've had to travel some, and take extra calls. And that's been daunting on our team here. And I just want to give them kudos. The Schneider crew has stepped up to allow myself to be able to fight for that industry. Yeah. And so make sure to thank them. If you see them, they have been a crucial part of this fight as well, just in the back end.
For sure. Yeah.
And if someone wants to reach out to you as far as like the NFC side of things, or have some, want some help or guidance and stuff, how can they reach out?
Yeah, you can reach out to us at the National Fireworks website, and also for the voter voice on the tariffs, please use nationalfireworks.com/tariffs.
All right. Well, let's get into the final 5 questions. So I didn't send these ahead of time. So she's not prepped for these. So we don't prep for the final 5. Our final 5 brought to us by Muxboard, CJ of that Muxboard. Great guy, good product. Again, if you got our raffle item at CobraCon, it has the Muxboard product a part of it. So reach out to us and claim your items. I just got a couple mods with slats on them, so I might need to order me some more slats from CJ. So again, hit him up. Great dude.
Those are awesome.
Yeah, those are. I like them. So final 5 questions. We asked the same 5 to everybody. Just see how everybody's answers are and kind of compare, and maybe this summer we'll have a little fun with these. So first question, what is your favorite consumer cake?
Ooh, that's a good question. Depends. I'm probably gonna go with Devil Doll.
Okay.
All right.
Do you need a
Number-
why, or do I just need to tell you the cake?
You could tell us why if you want.
Right.
You're more than welcome to. You want to go away with it, yeah.
Because of the neon colors.
Neon color.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, okay. Pretty sure I've seen some videos of it. So question number 2: if you had to choose only one for the rest of your career, are you choosing 1.4 or 1.3 products?
Oof. That's a good question.
Pro is included in the 1.4 category.
And I'm gonna
Not
go
trying to
with
sway either way.
1.4 category. And probably because, I get to there's less restrictions and distance, and you can shoot it more around the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right, question 3. This will probably be a tough one too for you because you've been in it for so long. If you could start your fireworks career over again, anything you might do differently?
Start it sooner. No, just
Right. Oh goodness. I don't know. It's a good question. Just because I've been in it for so long.
Yeah.
If I could change anything, I don't know if I would right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very
maybe
good.
more on the technical end and being more, tech savvy on some things, but other
For the
than,
most part, you're happy with where it is. That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Very good.
I mean, I love change, right?
Yeah.
Change can be hard, and scary, but I love the challenge and learning, and
Yeah.
it's one of those things. Like, I think it's a continual
Yeah.
thing. If you don't change, you die, right?
Yeah. Change is inevitable. Everything changes. You got to adapt.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Number 4. What is your favorite thing about working in this industry?
Oh, it's definitely the people.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think everybody's answer has been the people. Everybody's in the people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy how how that question kind of turned out this season. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Most definitely.
And question 5, a little bit trickier for you. If you were a flavor of ice cream, what flavor would you be?
That is a great question. I'd probably go with World Class with marshmallow on it from Baskin Robbins.
All right.
Okay. All right.
It's a classic tradition that you can't go wrong with.
There it is. All right.
Perfect.
Haven't heard that one
Yeah.
yet. That's good.
There was our final 5. That was
Yeah.
good. That's some good
It's also my
stuff
grandma's
there.
favorite, and then I understood why she
Yeah.
liked that. Now I can't not get it. So,
Completely makes sense.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you again for coming on and hanging out with us.
Yeah. Thanks
it's
for
been
having
a lot
me,
of
guys.
fun and get to learn about Schneitters and a little bit more into the tariffs, obviously, and NFA and your role there, and Yeah, just looking forward to hopefully having a good season this year. Hopefully you guys hit it big, and
Yeah.
we can continue fireworks next year.
That's the plan.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
fighting for it, guys, and I think
Yeah.
we are gonna. I mean, we're being told we're gonna see some kind of relief soon, and so we're really fighting for that and at a manageable rate for our industry.
Yeah,
So
most definitely.
I feel optimistic. I have to, right?
I would agree. Yeah.
We're gonna keep fighting if not.
Yeah. All right. As always, be sure to go to pyrounleashedpodcast.com. Grab some merch. PGI is coming up. As crazy as it is coming up. We are less than 2 months away from the 4th of July. And I think we've hit, we're under 3 months away from PGI now, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the convention tickets just went on sale.
yeah. So go snag some tickets.
Yeah.
The early bird. Sign up for Unlimited. Beat Ellery. That's the goal this year.
Beat Ellery.
Somebody needs to beat
Beat
Ellery. in
Ellery.
Unlimited.
Or is there like a bounty on Ellery's head? If you beat Ellery, is that
Yeah.
you get a prize?
Yeah. We might do something.
Well, there we go.
Podcast. If somebody beats Ellery, I give credit. We might have to do something now. I don't know. But again, go check out our Discord channel. Always a lot of fun over there. Just hanging out, asking questions. Never know what fun's going to come up over there.
Never know. But again, I want to thank Stacy for coming on. This is one of the episodes I was looking forward to this season. I think it lived up to the hype. So I'm glad to have you on and learn more about you and Schneitters and everything. We really do appreciate all the work that you're putting into those late night hours, all that stuff that we see out there doing. We definitely appreciate that, and you have our support and our love as you drive for our best interests and try to help us all out. So
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And we have an awesome team. So.
Yeah. Again, guys, you'll catch us on Friday, our finale tip of the week. And then again on next Wednesday for another great episode we got planned. And in the meantime, go out there and unleash your inner pyro with us.
This has been another episode of Pyro Unleashed. Come back each week for more industry insights, technical tips, and awesome pyro designs. Have fun out there, be safe, and as always, remember to unleash your inner pyro with us.